Hi fellas, in this video I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about the process of character creation. And here I have a character I have already created, so I don't have to waste time writing everything down. So I'm gonna walk you through the process that led to this character being created. So to begin with, I had in mind the idea of the kind of character I wanted to play. So I knew I wanted him to be an adult commoner, a Mesoamerican, and a Pochteca. Pochteca is one of the many classes that you will have available throughout the game. And then they're kind of merchants and spies at the same time. And this is a very interesting class to me, so I thought it would be cool to make one of these characters. So with this idea in mind, I started the process of creating my character. So first I chose the status as a merchant, as a spy. I thought it could be good to be a commoner, so I don't have any ties to nobility, which could lead to tricky situations. And also, a slave could not be a really good option if I wanted to be a free merchant and able to travel around. So I set my status to commoner. Then my age, being an adult, gives me some additional experience points to expand during character creation. It also means my hand of cards is gonna be limited to 7, which might be a problem if you wanna play a character that is gonna be playing a lot of cards. For example, for warriors, it might have a drawback. But my character is mostly gonna be about like trading and getting in and out of tricky situations throughout cunning and talking his way through every situation. So I'm probably not gonna need to play that many cards. So I thought it would be nice to have some additional points to be able to gain additional stats and some additional abilities. Finally, I chose to create a male called Tanok. And my religion, I set it to Mesoamerican, and my order to Pochteca, as I already explained. And what this means is, being an adult, I'm gonna have 70 experience points to expand in my character creation after setting the initial values for everything. Afterwards, I had to choose a few traits. One of the traits that you have to choose for your character is kind of a background trait, something that belongs to the past of your character and can somehow affect the story. So I decided my character could be wanted for scam. As a trader, he once scammed a powerful lord, and he's now chasing for him. So there's gonna be some regions where my character is gonna have to walk really carefully so as to not get in trouble with the lord of that area. And then I had to choose 3 personality traits, and I decided to go with cautious, which I named here neutral. Cautious is gonna be a trait that both the GM and I can use at some times to gain some effects. So when I choose to use cautious, for example, during a negotiation, I can say, okay, my character is cautious, so he's gonna be looking for any tells that might indicate that the opposing NPC is trying to scam me or deceive me in some way. But at the same time, the GM could use cautious as a way to, for example, stop me from moving too fast. So let's say I want to go into a room to look at some papers, and the GM says, okay, you're gonna have to check for your cautious trait, otherwise you're gonna be too afraid to move into the room that quickly, and you're gonna have to spend more time making sure that no one is around. So it's a trait that can provide some advantages to both me and some opportunities to the GM to use against me. Then I decided to get charming as a good trait. This is gonna be really good during my deals and negotiations. I can use this trait to gain advantages in social situations, to either get a better deal or maybe gain some information or access to places that could otherwise be close to my character. And finally, well, being a merchant, I thought, okay, let's go with greedy. Greedy is a bad trait. Good traits cost me experience points, and bad traits grant me some experience points. So it's kind of gonna counterbalance the cost of gaining charming, and it also kind of fits my character. So being greedy means that at some points during the game, the GM might say, okay, you really want to get a better deal here, so you cannot close the deal until you try to negotiate for a better deal, or anything like that that might somehow play against my character. Then in this part here, the affinity, I decided to choose the social affinity, as my character is mostly gonna try to talk his way out of situations. And well, this part I feel afterwards once I choose my gear. So for now, let's go here in my character. I set my health to 3, as that's the starting health of any character. And as I didn't expect to get into many troubles that might get my character hurt, I thought I wouldn't expend any additional experience points increasing my health. I also set my threshold to 1, which is the base value. And once again, if my character is not gonna take any damage, or I hope he won't, I don't really need to increase my threshold. So I left it like that. And finally here, you can find the initiative. All characters start with an initiative value of 1. And I thought, well, initiative is mostly useful in like conflict scenarios, and I hope my character won't get into too many of those. So I'd rather have experience points to spend elsewhere. So once we have finished with this part up here, I go to my order. I chose Pochteca. So what that is gonna mean is I'm gonna have some points to spend here, and my class or my order is somewhat gonna determine how those points are spent. So I come here to my book, or in this case the computer, where we have all the information, and in Pochteca I can find the characteristics or the distribution of points for this class. And it told me to set my values of perception and charisma to 5. So I went here and chose perception and charisma to 5. Afterwards, I used some additional points to level charisma to 6. But for now, it told me which skills I had to set at which values. Finally, there is a few skills that I can freely distribute as I want. And it also told me that my primary skills, which are these ones that I marked here with this small circle, could be stealth, charisma, perception, profession, and another skill of my choice. And I thought rights might come in handy in the future, as rights is a skill that empowers your magical abilities, and Pochtecas have access to the illusion magic school, which is gonna allow me to create illusions and like trick my opponents, and that might be helpful both for my missions and to get out of tricky situations. So I thought once my character gets better and I have more points to expend, I might want to go into the magic tree of my character, and it might be very useful to have rights. This point you might also save for later on if you don't want to, if you are not really sure what you want your character to evolve into. There's always one skill that you might save and then choose later on. And once I have set this on, I have 70 experience points that I can expend anywhere I want. Those experience points come from being an adult, which gives me 70 experience points. And then I lost 10 experience points getting charming, and I won 10 experience points getting greedy. So overall, I still have 70 experience points. And I can use them to increase anything I want. And I decided to increase my charisma focus to 2, which cost me 20 experience points. This is gonna allow me to play one additional card during confrontations in which I have to play charisma. So most social situations are gonna allow me to play an additional card, and this is gonna give me a huge advantage compared to characters with focus of 1. And I also chose to put an additional card into perception, so my perception focus increased to 2, and this is gonna allow me my spy to like perceive details that might otherwise elude him. And well, I also increased my charisma from 5 to 6. This cost me 7 experience points, but it's gonna give me an additional point in every situation in which I have to play for charisma. So it's gonna add up over time, and it's rather cheap. And finally, I had some abilities that I thought might come useful or might come handy to my character. The first one is Merchant Soul. This is a profession talent, and what it does is it gives me 1 advantage in commerce actions, such as getting a good discount, having a seller show his best products, selling something that is overpriced, or making something pass as better quality product than it actually is. And it also allows me to find the best deals possible, or to be shown items that the opposing NPC would normally keep to himself. So as a merchant, this is a very useful talent to have, because it's going to allow my character to, well, either earn more money or find better items. And as a spy, I thought a network of contacts might be very useful. What this means is anytime I get to a new place, I can claim that I know someone there who's gonna be willing to help me, part of this network of spies I belong to. So it allows me to have an easier transition every time I move from one place to another. These talents, they cost 10 points each. So after expending 20 and 20 points, and then 10 and 10, it's a total of 60 points, plus 7 points from increasing my charisma from 5 to 6. I have 3 points left. 3 points aren't that much, so I decided to save them from later on, and as my character keeps gaining experience, I have those 3 extra points that I can use somewhere else. So I just wrote my remaining experience here. And once this is done, it's time to buy some gear and then start playing. So my initial goal is based on my status and my profession. My profession is 4, my status commoner. So commoner means that my starting money equals 100 times my profession, so 400 starting money. And I use that to buy an Italy knife, which might come useful in some situations, and it's very cheap. It's not gonna be useful in any fights, but it might help me cut through some rope or open some gate, or I don't know, maybe provide some small advantage in some situations, and it might come in helpful. And then I decided to buy Scapular Armor, which is a local armor. It provides some small damage reduction, so it's gonna set my soft armor to 1, and it also gives me this ability which is called Camouflage, and it helps me camouflage in the wild. So even though I don't expect to walk a lot through the wild, and I'd rather be in more populated areas, it might come in helpful, and I had some money to spare, so I thought it would be a good purchase. And to finish, I have Maps of the Empire, which is an item that comes from my profession. Every profession has some special piece of gear that is particular to that specific order or class. Mine is Maps of the Empire, which will allow me to, or will give me maps of every place I go to, or I have like the entire region, so my character can travel from one place to another without getting lost. And as you can see, I didn't write any other gear, and that is mostly because I don't have to write any minor items that I want my character to carry with himself. That is because my profession will allow me to tell the GM that I have anything I need with myself, as long as that makes sense for a specific profession. So as a Poshteka, I might say that I have anything I need to break a lock, for example, on me, because that is something that could make sense for my character. And if I was playing, for example, a scribe, I could say I have maybe ink and paper with me, because that is something that could make sense for that character. And with this, the character could be ready to start playing. And well, I hope you enjoyed the character creation, and I covered most of the basic aspects of it. Thank you very much.